Is my screen visible, guys?
Yes.
Okay. So yesterday, we'll just see a recap what we saw yesterday. We were seeing just about what is Java, why we are using Eclipse editor, okay, when Java was introduced, and why we are using Java, okay. So it is an open source. It supports multi-threading. It is very robust, more secure, okay, and platform independent because of uh, because of all these reasons we are using Java, okay, and not only Java, most of the language, right? Computer languages will follow OOPS concept, okay. Similarly, Java also follows OOPS concept, okay. It has class, object, inheritance, okay, polymorphism, abstraction, and encapsulation. So all these are very, very important because we'll be using all these methodologies in our framework, okay. Whenever we are working on an automation framework, it can be any tool, okay, but we will be using all these techniques in our framework creation, okay. That is the reason we are learning all these things. So these are the main four pillars of OOPS, okay. So what is inheritance, what is polymorphism, what is encapsulation, what is abstraction, all these things we'll see in the upcoming sessions, okay. This is just a high level introduction about what is Java. So we saw this yesterday, and then we went on to what is class and what is objects, and before that we saw what is package, okay, and why we how the naming convention should be, and why we are having semicolon at the end of the statement for all the code, all the line of code that we are writing on the editor, right? So every code will have this semicolon at the end because it is a full stop, okay? So this is the syntax for creating a class, okay? Class is nothing but a blueprint, okay? You'll be having this syntax like public, okay? This is access specifier, and then class, and then hello world is the class name, okay? So we saw what is package. It is nothing but a folder, okay? Inside the folder for maintaining the structure, we'll first create a package whenever we are creating an automation. And as I told you, this SRC main Java was introduced for developers and SRC test for testers. Okay. So now anyone can use anything, but the proper the reason why they introduced these two different folders were for one is for developer and one is for tester. Okay. In olden days, they used to use both the development code and testing code in one single framework. So that is why we have these two kind of folders, and these are what is main method. This is the heart of the program. Okay. So this is the starting point of the program. Okay. Like ignition. Okay. When you're starting a bike, you have to put your key and press on your start button, right? So similarly, when you're running a program, the Java will defaultly search for this main method. Okay. So this public is an access specifier and static is a keyword. Okay. So that once you are declared static, this method cannot be changed. Okay. And then void is nothing but a return type. And then this is the main method's name. And this is argument that we are going to pass inside this. Whatever we are typing here, right? It is a string value. So this is the declaration for this one. Okay. And then system.out.println, this line of code is to print something in your console. Okay. So if you use just print L instead of a println, if you just use print, it will print the statement in the same line and it will not move to the next line. Okay. So both the print statement will be printed in the same single line. Okay. Only when you put ln at the end of the print system, system.out.print, if you use this ln, it will move to the next line. Okay. So these are the things we learned yesterday and how to create an object for a class. Okay. So this is the class name we have given her, right? So this is the syntax for class name. You have to use the class name, okay, any reference variable for that object, and then new keyword, and then hello world. So this is how we have to declare an object, and we will be calling the object using the reference name that we have here. Okay. So this is a method we have created inside the class. Okay. So this class we are calling here. Okay, that is why all the values that are present here, okay, even this one is getting printed when the execution is done. Okay, so far clear everyone? What we saw yesterday? Guys, please respond. It is a 1 hour session and you people are very few in this batch. Okay, so please try to be interactive. Ask more number of questions. Okay, so that you will be
I,
getting a clear
may I
idea.
know your good name, please? Isha?
My name is Hari.
Hari. Hari, I just wanted to know, like I just joined today only.
Okay, okay.
I'm not aware when the initial demo was started.
Day before yesterday, we started the session. So this training session was started day before yesterday, 18th. We
Okay.
had just a 2 days of demo. One is for Playwright introduction and why Playwright is booming like something. And yesterday we saw about core Java and how to create a class, objects, all those things. So only
Okay.
you didn't miss much.
Acha, okay. And I just wanted to know, I mean, I'm not that much expert in Java programming. A string
Mm-hmm.
array arcs. What is the purpose of string array arcs? Really, I'm not aware.
This one.
Yeah.
It is nothing but a declaration, like kind of syntax. So whenever you are creating some method, right, main method is compulsory. Okay, without main method, the code will not be getting executed. Okay, so we have to follow the syntax. This is the syntax. String of array is nothing but we are using we are writing code inside this main method, right?
Yes.
So we are saying that we are going to use some string inside that. So that is what we are declaring it.
Okay. Okay.
Any other questions, others?
No from me, sir.
No. Okay. Uh, Okay, so then we will do to the move to the new topic. Okay, so today we will be seeing about what is data type. Okay, so in Java, so far we were declaring something like a string color, and we were mentioning some color name and all here, right? So we were declaring, right? So all these things we did without knowing what it is. Okay, so basically in Java we have predefined data types. Okay, so there are two types of data types. One is primitive data type, and the other one is non-primitive data type. Okay, so primitive data types are predefined keywords that are available in Java itself. Okay, it is inbuilt in Java. So whenever you type something, okay, so for example, if I type integer, okay, so if you want to store some number, we will be using integer, okay. So if you see here, it is getting the color is getting changed to pink color, purple color, okay. Whenever we are typing int, it is getting changed to purple color. So whatever you see here, purple color, right? Public, static, void, all these things are predefined in Java itself, okay. So clear. So we have these many types of predefined keywords for data types. Okay, so these are called primitive data types like byte, short, integer, long, float, double, character, and boolean. Okay, all these things comes under primitive data type. And non-primitive data type are, for example, if you see here, we have declared string here. Okay, but I told you that these are all predefined integer data types, right? But whereas for string, it is in black color only because it is not a primitive
Class.
data types. It is a non-primitive data type which we are going to create. Okay. Yes, yes. You were about to ask something.
No, I was telling that it's a class actually. String is
Yeah,
basically.
string is a class. So if you see here, whatever we create, right, as a programmer, whatever we create, classes, okay, array we will be creating, string also we'll be creating, and interfaces also we'll be creating. So all these things are non-primitive data types. Whatever we create is a non-primitive data type. Whatever already predefined are called as primitive data types. Okay. So these type of data types are for storing the data. Okay, most of the things are for storing the data. Okay, so when you want to store something and evaluate something, okay, in that case we'll be using this one. Okay. So the Java compiler, whenever it starts running, right? So Java is statistically typed, okay, which means you must declare a variable type before using it. As I told you, Java is a kind of a kid. You have to tell everything, okay? Without telling anything, we have to tell everything to the system, okay? Or else it will not understand. So for example, if you want to store some number, okay, for example, if you want to store 10 and if you want to print it, okay, so in that case, you have to tell that you are going to store some value as a number. So if you are going to say save a number, you have to use this integer. Okay, integer num equal to 10. Okay. So as I told you, whenever you are storing some string value, you have to use this double quotes. Okay. Whereas for number, it is not required. You can directly type this. Okay. So let's see one by one example. Okay. So as I told you, the primitive data type, it has these many predefined values. Okay. Integers. So if you want to store some integers, then you can use these options. Okay. Byte, long, short, and integer. Okay. And for float, if you want to store some number with decimal points, you can use float and double. Okay. Based on the size that you are going to use, you have to use either float or double. Similarly, if you want to store one single letter, okay, so you can use this character. And then boolean is to store true or false values. Okay, if you want to see, if you want to get some true or false value from the output, you can use this boolean. Okay. And as I told you, the non-primitive data types are classes. Okay, whatever class that we create as a programmer, class, array, string, okay, interface, all these things comes under primitive data type. Okay, customly defined or created by the programmers. Okay, these are called as non-primitive data types. So this chart explains you what is what and how many values can be stored inside that. Okay. So for example, when you take an integer, okay, if you are going to store a value from between 128 minus 128 to plus 127. Okay. If you are going to store a value between these two numbers, you can use byte. Okay. So it has a 8-bit size in the computer. It will store up to 8 bits. Okay. So if you exceed this numbers, right, it will throw an error saying that you have declared some other thing which is not supported here. Okay, for example, so for byte, it should be minus 127. I told you, right? So b equal to minus 127. So if I declare 127, it won't throw any error. Can you see there is no error? Whereas if I change it to some other value, it will throw an error. Can you see? Cannot convert from int to byte. Okay, so this is a predefined value. Till this only you will be able to store. So in positive value up to 127. So if you put 128 again, it will throw an error. Okay. So this is the maximum value you can store in byte. So if you are increasing the value to a 5-digit number, then till 32,000 something, you can use this short value. Okay. Or else you in mostly in automation, in company wide, we'll be using this integer only. Okay. So the numbers, whatever we print or something, it will be in this level. By default, we'll be using integer only, int only. Okay. So if you are using more than 10 digits, then you have to use this long value. Okay. So these are the integer values that we can use to store the values. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, yes.
Clear, Hari.
Sorry, guys. Okay. So one thing what you have to do is for byte, short, and integer, you can directly store the values. Okay. When you are trying to store some numbers like 10 numbers inside this value. Okay. For example, I'm typing some numbers. So if I change it as int, it doesn't throw any error. Okay. Whereas if you are using long, okay, if you are going to store more number of values, what you have to do is at the end you have to mention L. Okay. So this is a syntax. Okay. If you don't define this L, it will throw you error. Okay. So we have to tell the system that it is a long value that I'm going to store in here. Okay. Even if you add this L at the end, if you're trying to print something, it will not print the L at the end. Okay. Don't get confused. Whatever number you have printed here, that will only be printed. The L alphabet will not be displayed. But when you are storing something inside a long value, then you have to mention L at the end. Is it clear? So this is the syntax. So if you want to store L, a long value, then you have to put this L at the end. Okay. Similarly for floating point, if you're going to store some float, okay, float value, or I mean the decimal digit, up to 7-digit decimal digits, you can use this float. Okay. If it is more than 7, then you can use up to 15 decimal digits, you can use double. Okay. For double, you no need to use any values. Okay. Only for long and floating point, you have to use L and F at the end of the program. Is it clear?
Yes, clear, Hari. So that can be also called as typecasting or something else. I'm not sure.
Sorry, what did you ask me?
I mean, for long and float, if you are putting L or F, what this called as typecasting? I'm not sure about it.
It is not typecasting. We are just letting the system to know that we are going to use long digit. We are going to store some long digit in this data type, and for float we have to use f at the end. So we are just
Okay,
letting it know. The system will not easily. It will not understand everything by its own. Okay, because it is not AI or something. So we have to tell everything to it.
okay, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So for double, as I told you, you have to use double in the declaration and then some reference variable and the value. Okay. So as I told you, the Boolean is for storing true or false value. Okay. If you are having, for example, you have an element on a web page. Okay. If you want to validate whether that element is present or not, okay, you have to uh, use the Boolean option, like whether it is present. If it is present, it will be giving you the output as true. Okay, so you can store that value inside the Boolean value and print it based on your need. Okay. Okay, and character is for storing one single value, okay, for one single letter. Like if you want to store A or B or A to Z, whatever single letter that you want to store, right? You can store it like this. This is the syntax for that. And if you know the ASCII code, okay, for A, the ASCII code is 65, okay. So for B, it will be 66. Like that, we would have studied it, ASCII code in our school days, right? So for A, for all the alphabets, we have a number, okay. For it will be converted into a number and it will be passed into the system. So if you even pass this number, it will automatically store the value like this one. Okay. So these are the available data types. Okay. So if, for example, I have taken a student details. Okay. If you want to store some student details or a company, employee details. Okay. We can create a class called employee details. Okay. Instead of type demo, data type demo, you can create a class called employee details. Okay. Create a main method. Okay. Inside the main method, have all these data like primitive data. As I told you, we'll be storing integer. Okay. I want to get the age of the employee. Salary will be in double, right? So we can use this one. And character, the grade of the person. Okay. Whatever the grade that that person is going to get, that will be true or something. Sorry, the single letter. And then you can have this boolean declared. So all these values we have to declare, store something inside these values. Okay. And then for string is the, as I told you, this is not a primitive data type. Okay. We are going to use string here. This is non-primitive data type. So these two demo, we are going to store the values inside all these data types. And then I want you guys to print it like this. Okay. If you are completely new to the program, don't copy paste from here. Okay. I want you guys to type it. Then only it will get registered in your mind. Okay. Even when I was started learning Java, I used to just copy paste so that what happened, I forgot everything. Okay, so then I started typing each and every line. Okay, even this public static void main method has a shortcut. Okay, but what I do is I don't copy paste it because during interview, right, when they ask you to write a program, if you start with public static void main, they'll be impressed a little bit. Okay, because most of us will not do that. We'll directly get into the code and start typing the code. Okay, when someone is asking you to write this one, at that interview point, right, that time you will not get to remember this line of code if you are not aware, if you haven't typed it once at least. Okay, so data type demo. So as I told you yesterday, whenever you are creating a class, the class name should always start with capital letter, okay? And it should follow camel case. So each and every new word that you're going to type in your class name should start with capital letter and follow camel case, okay? There should not be any space, okay? If you see, if I give any space in the name, it will throw an error, okay? There should not be any special characters, dollar symbol, hashtag symbol kind of thing. Only underscore is allowed. Okay. So in your company also, if you're creating a framework or page object, whatever, you should use this capital camel case type when you're creating a class. Okay. By checking this checkbox, right, public static void main, it will automatically create that also inside your class name. But I would not suggest suggest you in the initial stage, if you are learning Java, don't do this, because without this line of code, you will definitely not able to run the program. Okay, in my previous batches and all, one student was I have taught them this all these things, but they forgot it. Okay, they directly started writing the program here, and it was keep on throwing error. And she pinged me in the WhatsApp group the screenshot that it is not working. Like she's not able to see run as Java program. Okay, she was able to see only this run configurations. So then I told her, you have missed that main method. Okay, so main control space will give you the shortcut for this to get created. But first few days, just type this, then only you will be able to run the program. Okay, so once I have put this, okay, if I right click and mouse over on this, run this, can you see the Java application will be displayed. So if you don't do this, it will not, you will not be able to run this program at all. Okay, so as I told you, we'll declare the primitive data types first. So we have done with the main method, we have created a class. Okay, so primitive data types has been declared. Okay, integer, double, char, okay, boolean. So next is non-primitive data type. We are storing some string class value inside the string class. Okay, and then I'm going to print this system.println. Okay, so I'm doing this for employee, right? I want you guys to try it for a student database. Okay, I want you guys to create this program as student database. Okay, I want two different student details, okay, to be stored inside all these integer inside this data types, and I want you guys to print it like this. Okay, one more thing you have to remember, whenever you are creating a variable like this, right, you have stored integer age 25, right? So if you again try to store one more duplicate value, it will throw error like this. Okay, you cannot have a variable name duplicate one. Okay, you should have some other name added, like you can have numbering system. Okay, for example, employee 1 age. Okay, this is the age of the employee 1. So the salary is for employee 1 salary. Okay, the grade is also for employee 1. Okay, is he eligible or not? For that we are validating like this. So this one is for employee 2 age. So like this, you have to create two different data types. Okay, for two students. Okay. Is it clear what I'm trying to say? You guys are clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So kindly don't, if you are already aware of Selenium, Java and Selenium, no worries. If you are new to this, please try to type everything. Okay, so that you will be able to. So like this, when you do it, you will get registered in your mind. Okay, so why we are doing all these things? Why? There is a reason why I'm asking you guys to create two different employee details. Okay, two student details, and why I'm asking you guys to print it. Okay, when we are learning methods, right? At that time you will understand. So this is data type session, right? So when you go to the methods, right, at that time you'll understand why I asked you guys to create like this. Employee to age is throwing error. Okay. So now when I execute this, two different employee details will be printed. Okay. And you see two times it is getting printed. Okay. If you change the values, it will be printing the values based on the changes. Okay. So with this, we are done with the data types. Let's move on to the methods. Okay. Any doubt so far?
So if you want to print two employee details using a
Hmm.
one print ln, okay, then is it like with comma separated we can give it the variable name, or how we can do that?
Instead of putting to the next line, you want to comma
Ha
separated, right? That's what
ha.
you're
So
asking?
means can we use comma over there? How?
Yes,
I
yes.
don't know.
Only thing, instead of putting it into the second line, we can just
Ha.
remove the line. Okay. Have a plus
Okay, plus.
concatenation kind of thing. Okay. Have a plus and add a comma here and have a space so that
Okay.
this can be removed. So name and employee will be printed on the single line itself.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And you see, with comma separated. If you don't want comma, or if you want some other pipe symbol kind of thing, you can do like this. Okay,
Okay.
you can have
Okay.
everything in single line itself,
Okay.
like this, just plus and this
Plus.
one.
Okay. Okay.
And if you want to differentiate between two different details, system employees, okay, so between two employees, you can type system dot out, okay, inside the double quotes, have star or some other symbol like this get printed, okay. So once you run this, for every execution, it will differentiate like this. So the first employee details is here, second employee detail is here,
Second.
okay.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, just play with it, no worries. You can learn a lot of things once you start exercising it, okay.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No.
Super. So far we saw what is a class, what is an object, okay? And we saw how to declare variables, okay? Now let's see how to create a method and what is a method, okay? A method is a block of code that performs some action, okay? Something we are doing here is a repetitive task, correct? Whatever we print here is a repetitive task. Okay, we have to, we want to print n number of employee details. We cannot declare these many times all the details, correct? If you have 100 employees, will you be keep on copy pasting this and entering all their details like this? Is it
No.
possible? It is possible, but it is a very hectic work, right? So instead
Okay.
of doing it like this, we have to create a proper method. Okay, inside the method, we can pass the parameters like this. Okay, and then you can return the value and it can be printed. Okay, so this is the basic syntax of a method. Okay, whenever we are creating a method, we have to create with access specifier, public or private, whatever it is, we have to declare on the front. Okay, and then we should have a return type. Okay, return type is nothing but uh, we saw here, right? In the main method, we are creating void here. Okay, this is a return type in this main method. Okay, so return type in the sense whenever you are executing some method, if there is going to be some output coming back from this execution, then that output should be mentioned here. Okay, here the execution is going to happen only for printing and other stuffs, right? So we are not going to return something. So they say, so generally the main method will always have void. Void is nothing but empty space or a zero. Okay. So that is why void is mentioned here. Okay. Whereas in methods, when we are creating, for example, if you want to add two numbers, okay. If you want to add two numbers, 2 plus 2 you want to add, okay. So you are passing the parameter inside the method and the value will be 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. So it is returning some value, right? So whenever there is some returning value, then you have to mention that return type here, okay? So what is the return type here? 2 plus 2. We saw the data types, right? 2 will be 4 only, right? So 4 is a number. So what will be the return type? Int. We can use
Integer.
integer, okay? So return type will be int and we'll have a create a method name for that and we have to pass the parameters inside this, okay? So whatever logic that you are going to have here will be a plus b or something, we'll return the value here, okay? So this is the syntax for creation of a method, okay? So as I told you, method is a block of code. Okay, it performs specific task, whatever written inside this one, right? It will be written and it can be reused n number of times. Okay, so I'll show you an example how this data type that we created here, right? This many time we are doing it, right? Instead of that, we can declare all these things inside one method and call that into a program. Okay, I'll show you how to declare a
So,
student details. Okay, yeah, come on. What do you want?
so in C language, I think it is function. So here is it like method
Yeah,
again?
function is called as method
Similar.
here in Java.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So it helps us to reuse the code. Okay. Program can be breaked into small logical parts and you can use that. Okay. So if you want, you can have all these values in one single method or else you can have it each and everything for single values. Okay. So if you want to get the age alone separately, you can create a method for age. Okay. Separately. And for employee details, you can get it separately. But if you want all the things to be printed in one single line, okay, what we can do is we can have main method. Okay, inside this main method we are going to call all those values. For that, what I'll do, we'll have public, okay, this is the syntax, public uh, void. I'll have the method name as student info. So this is the syntax when you want to create some method. So what are the info that we want from the students name we need, right? So we'll declare string value name, okay? And then what we need, uh, which standard, okay? In which standard or which department he is studying, okay? We'll get the department detail, okay? And then his mark. So mark will be integer value, right? So total mark, okay? I want all these three details to be printed, okay? What I'll do, sys out. Inside that, I'll pass the value as student name. So whatever you put into the double quotes will be printed directly here. And if you want to pass this variable inside this method or some line of code, okay, you can just copy this variable name and pass it like this, okay. So once you do this, the student name will be printed, okay. So I want the department details. So student department, you can change it like this, and total mark, student total mark, okay. So instead of declaring like this, what I have done, I have created a method like this, okay. This method I will call into this main method, okay. So for calling this method, what we have to do, I told you, right, we have to declare the object, okay. If you want to call any method that is outside the main method, we have to declare an object like this and then call that method like how we did here, okay. Similarly, we are going to do the same. So the student info should be called here. So for that, what we'll do, we'll create a student details. So class name, okay, SD equal to new keyword student details, okay. So by calling the reference variable SD dot, you will be able to see the student info, okay. All the variables that I've declared, right? String name, department, mark, everything is displayed here, okay. I'll just call this. So we have to pass the value here directly, okay. So student name is Hari, and then he is from IT department, okay, and his total marks is 80 or 890 or something, okay. So like this, I can just call this reference variable and have some other name keep on printing, okay, ECE department, and this mark is 800. Like this, you can keep increasing the student details. Is it clear? Can you understand? So here, instead of creating these many variables, okay, declaring it, storing it, and then printing it, so it will be more number of line, right? The code will be keep on increasing. Are you guys getting it? So this one is very simple, right? You can create a method. That is why in Java we use methods, okay? We create methods, okay? We'll be using the block of code that performs specific task and can be reused, okay? It can help us to reduce the code and break the programs into logical parts. Can you understand why we are using methods now? Guys, please respond. So the
Yes,
repetitive
yes.
task can be reduced now. Okay. So this improves the code reusability, modularity, and readability. So you can easily read, right? So what is happening here? So this method object is calling this method. Okay. This method is storing these values. Okay. So when I print all these things, what will happen? If I want to increase also, I can just increase. Okay. Can you see? So all the details are getting printed. So if I want to see any difference here, I can have a statement here like this. Okay, in this double quotes, I can pass some values like this. Okay, so to see a difference between two, three different students. Okay, like this I can have and I can print. So you can see the difference, right? So this is student one, this is student two, this is student three. Okay, so visually you can see the difference also. Okay, And if you don't want to have this many line of code, you can just have it here by having the space, I mean the plus symbol here, okay? Plus symbol is for concatenation of program, okay? Whatever you want to print on C on the screen, you can have it like this, okay? I have removed and made it as a single line of code, okay? So when I
So,
run this, you'll be able to see all the single line, okay? Yeah, what you were able to ask me?
so we are not returning anything over here, right? So that's why it is void.
Sorry, can you come again? I'm not.
Means in syntax, it was like a return and something was there, right? Value.
Yeah. I'll tell
That's
you.
one.
There are different types of methods. I'm just telling why
Okay.
we are using methods in Java. Okay.
Okay.
So by this example, you will be able to understand, right? So instead of typing so many lines of code, you can short it
Okay.
into a single method and you can reuse it. Okay. I just wanted to tell that now. So I was showing you without a return type. So with return type also, I'll show you. Don't worry.
Okay.
Okay, so this is just a storing and viewing the record on the screen. Okay, for that purpose, we are seeing this. Okay, so if you want to have a return type like addition or subtraction, something you are going to do, okay, you want to return some value and print it, right? So that time we'll use this return value. Okay, I'll show you that. So before that, we'll see how many types of methods are there in Java. Okay, so we have these many types. Okay, instance method. So whatever you create an object, okay, it will be directly called like this. So we saw here, right? So instead of passing any parameter, okay, in the hello world method, I just called this method, right? We will not have any parameter inside or no return type, okay? Without anything, if you create a method and just have a print statement inside that or something, action is going to happen inside that, okay? You will not have any parameter. You will be just calling it directly like this, okay? This is called as instance method. It belongs to an object, okay? And static method, okay, it belongs to the class. Okay, no method, no object is needed. You can directly call the class name and create one method, and inside the value you can pass it like this. Okay, so this is called as static method. And parameterized method, so whatever I showed you now, right? So we are passing some parameters, right, in this method. So name, department, total mark, all these things we are passing inside the same method itself. So this is called as parameterized method. And without this thing we saw, right, that is called as parameterized, non-parameterized method. Okay, and if you have any return type, okay, I told you, you asked me, right, you have to have some return type and see the program. So if you have any return type, then that is called return type method. Okay, and if you don't have any method return type, okay, it doesn't have any return type, that can be called as void method. Okay, so this many types of methods can be created. Let's see one by one. Okay, so as I told you, there will be no return type or no parameter, just a print statement or something. Okay, public void say hello is the method name. It will have just double bracket open and close. Okay, inside the curly braces, you'll have just a print statement. So this is called as what? No parameter or no return method. Okay, simple method. And then if you want to have some return method, okay, so for example, integer get number, okay, return 10 as the value you have mentioned here. So when you're calling this method get number into your main method, it will print the value as 10. Okay, it will return the value as 10. Okay, for example, public, okay, int um, get age of the student. Okay, we are going to get the age of the student. In that we are using the return type as 22. So college student age is 22 kind of thing. Okay. So what I'll do here, so at the last it will print this 1022 at the end. Okay, because I'm just calling it, right? So whatever you return, okay, inside a method, you can print it like this. Okay. Not only print, if you want to pass this variable to some other place, okay, you can do that also. Okay. So this is the usage of return type. So if you are going to return some string value, change the return type as string. Okay. Inside a double quotes, you have the string value. Okay. So when you pass this, When you execute this program, whatever you return, right, it will be printed. Is it clear, Nikhil?
Yes, yes.
So this is called as return type method. Okay. And no return type, but it will have parameter. Okay. That is what we did now. So we made it void and we don't have any return type. We are making, we are passing the parameter inside this. Parameter is nothing but the variables. Okay. So the variables are passed into this method. So this is called as no return type plus parameter type method. Okay. So this is how it will look. And then we'll have return type as well as parameter. Okay. So for example, you are adding some value. Okay. Int add equal to public. Okay. Int, you are creating a method called add. Okay. Int a and int b. Okay. So you are returning the value as a plus b. So this is the value. Okay. Output will be for example, if you are passing a as 2 and b as 2, what will be the return type value here? Output will be 4. Correct.
Oh, right.
So if I want to call that method here sd dot add method. So this is the method and whatever number we are passing, for example, 15. Okay. Here I am passing 10. What will be the output for this? 25, right? So
25.
if I just call this method here, what will happen? It will not print anything because the action will be performed. Like this addition will be performed, but we are not printing it, right?
Printing.
So you will not be able to seeing it in the console. So if you want to see it in the console, just copy this and paste it in the before and add one bracket at the end. So whenever you open a bracket, you should close. Okay. So this method we are calling from here, we are passing this values alone. Okay. We are not plussing it. We are not adding it here, right? In this main method, we are not adding anything. We are just passing the parameters. Okay. So this is called as return type with parameter. So these many types of methods can be used in Java. Okay. So can you see 25 is getting printed. So if you want to have some text before this value, for example, like this, you have to add concatenate this value. Okay. And addition output. Okay. So if I have, if you want to have a proper visual output, okay, so then you can add like this. Addition output is 25. Okay, like this. So far clear, everyone? Any doubts? Please get it cleared then and there. If you're not clear, I'm happy to help you again to explain it again. Is it clear? So how many methods types are there? Okay, no parameter, no return type. Okay, return type, no parameter, no return type with parameter. Okay, both the things like return type will also be there, parameter also will be there. So all these methods you can implement in your learning. Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, clear.
Super. So as I told you, this is the simple method. Okay, if you want to add something, you can add it like this. Create a method. Okay, public is access specifier, integer is the return type, add is the method name. Okay, parameters you are passing, and you are having a return type. Okay. If you don't want to have this return type, you can directly have the system like the system.out.println. You can pass this value a plus b. Okay, then that will also be printed. You no need to have a method like this inside the print statement. You no need to have this. Okay, by just passing this value like this itself, it will work. If you have a syntax, I mean system.out.println here itself instead of returning it. Okay, instead of using return statement, you can have this as void. Okay, instead of this return, use system.out.println. Inside that, you can have this a plus b. Okay, what it will do? It will add the value a plus b. Okay, will it do that? Any guesses? Will you be able to see the output here
No, no.
as 25?
No, because it is void.
No, even it is a void. We have the method here, right? System.out.println. We are adding up it a plus b. It will definitely print it as 25 because this method we are calling here, we are passing the parameter. Whatever we did here, right? Here also we did the same. Okay, we declared the value inside the println statement. We are calling all these things. Okay, and then we are passing it here. By just having these values, we can add it here like this. Okay, clear, everybody. So you can play with the methods. Okay, whenever you start working on the methods, you will learn a lot of things inside that. So this is what I wanted to tell you about method creation. Okay. So static method, instant method, so all these things just now we saw. So now we were passing the parameters inside this method, right? So directly we were passing, and we know how to declare outside the method also. Okay, we know all these things, but we should understand there are two types of variables. Okay, one is local variable. Okay, it is declared inside the methods or constructor. Okay, whereas instance, that is global variable. Okay, this is called as global variable is nothing but that is declared inside the class outside the method. Okay, so for example, in this method, okay, whatever we did inside the main method, okay, so this is here we didn't declare any value. Okay, we are just passing the values, correct? Here also we didn't declare, we are passing the values as a parameter. Okay, so this is specific to this method only. You will not be able to call this name. So for example, you are calling it here, right? You are able to print the value here. Okay, if you try to call this string of name value you are storing here, right? This variable, if you are trying to store it somewhere, if you are try to call it here, it won't work. Okay, it will throw an error. It will ask you to declare something. This is not a variable present inside this particular method. Okay, whenever you are creating some value, storing some value specific to a method, okay, it is called as local variable. Okay, can you see? Create a local variable, it is showing. So once you click on it, it is a string, right? So we have to mention it as string name. So we have declared it now. Okay, but we haven't stored any value, initialize. So without initialization, if you are trying to store some method, it will throw an error like this. So you have to initialize the variable. Okay, like this. So whenever you declare something inside the method, okay, it is called as local variable. It cannot be accessed by any other method or class. Is it clear?
Yeah, clear, Hari. What about instance method?
This
We have
global
already
variable,
discussed.
right? Yeah, I'll tell you. So if you did, if I'm declaring this inside this method, okay, it is called as local variable. Okay, so what if I declare this outside all the methods? I haven't declared it inside any of the method. I'm declaring it inside the class. Okay, after class, I'm declaring it on the top. Okay, so now if you see, the error will be gone here. Okay, because this is a
Mhm.
global variable now. So globally, I have declared if you want to reuse some variable in all the methods that you're going to create, you have to declare it globally like this. Is it clear?
And what if we declare it in the main class, means that
This method,
inside?
it will
Uh,
be used only here alone. You will not be able to use it here outside the method. The main method is also a method only, right? So when
okay,
you do it inside, it will be considered as a
I got it.
local
Okay.
variable. Okay, so you can easily identify the difference also. Okay, if you see here, when I declare this string name inside this particular method, local variable, okay, the
Mm,
color of this one will be a little brown color. Can you see? The
right.
color of the name is brown color. Can you see the difference? This brown color,
Yes.
right? So if I declare this outside, okay, it will be in blue. Can you see the
Okay.
color? So this color and this color will be same now because it is a global variable I'm using here. So to identify, Eclipse will show you that if you are seeing something in blue color and if it is a variable, it is definitely a global variable. You can easily identify this. Okay. Whereas
Mm,
here, if you see inside the method, again I have used this same name. Okay. Whereas here it is not showing the blue color because this is specific to this main method alone. It can be used inside this alone. Clear? What is the difference between local variable and global variable? Everyone?
yes.
Okay, these are very important because whenever you are seeing your Selenium or Playwright, whatever framework it is, okay, the globally they will declare one object they will be declaring globally. Okay, main thing, which is a web driver. In Selenium framework, if you have seen, web driver is nothing but the browser that we are going to open and automate, right? That particular browser will be declared in the base class. Okay, globally they will declare it because one browser only we are going to automate everything. Okay, so then so the one web driver you would have seen in your framework, if you have already worked in automation in Selenium, you would have seen something declared globally outside the methods, main methods. Okay, that is the reason we are learning what is variables. Okay, why they are declaring it locally, how they are declaring it globally. Okay, so if you see something brown color, then you can easily say that this is a local variable. So if you see something in blue color, you can easily identify that it is a global variable. Okay. So this one is a local variable, correct? So instead of declaring inside the main method, we are passing it as a parameter. Okay. Can you see the color? It's still in light brownish color. Okay. So if you have this method already outside globally declared, and if you are trying to pass it here, then it will be in blue color. Is it clear? So that is the main difference between local variable and instance variable. Any doubt on this, guys?
You also mentioned some constructor, okay? So what does it mean?
Sorry?
Mm. Constructor, you have mentioned, right? So is it also
Yeah, yeah,
local
I'll tell you,
variable?
I'll tell you. We'll go one by one. We'll learn method,
Okay.
all these things, okay? Constructor we'll be learning on Monday, I guess. Today we are
Mm.
going to learn about methods only,
Mm.
okay?
Okay,
So
okay, got it.
already, the time is up already. So we'll stop with methods today. We'll learn constructor on Monday, okay? Don't worry. I'll tell everything. You can understand everything in the Java, whatever you are learning Java, right? In the I'll correlate it with Playwright, whatever framework that we are going to learn. Okay, everything I'll correlate and tell you. Okay, why we are using it, all these things. Okay,
Okay.
so no need to
Yes,
worry.
yes. You
So
just
I told you
mentioned
to.
that's why.
Uh, Sorry.
No, I mean you just mentioned
Yeah,
previously.
yeah,
That's
I
why
said the
I
types and all
thought.
right. At the time I
Uh-huh.
was saying about the constructor, I
Okay.
guess. Yeah, I remember.
Uh,
I'll tell you that also. Don't worry. Okay. So now
okay.
we'll learn first methods. Okay, one by one we'll go. Okay, don't we
Sure,
no need to
sure.
rush up. Okay. So far, whatever I taught you, you are clear, right? So the difference between how a data type should be declared. If you want to have so many member details, if you are keep storing these many times, the code will be the line of code will be more. Okay. So for reducing that, we bought in this method. Okay, main method. So here also we are passing this parameter method, and we are passing values like this, right? Instead of doing that, okay, this many times, if you see here. Once we are done with the local global variable understanding, okay, if you see here, I have created a show details method. Okay, inside that method, I have declared this global variable like this, and I'm passing it here. Okay, can you see this, guys? This code you are able to understand what I've done here. Any
Yes,
guesses?
string you have mentioned and it is put yes.
Okay, I'll tell you. So here I'm calling this object. Okay, one object I created. I'm using this and I'm calling this method. Okay, inside that I'm passing this parameter. Okay, directly I'm printing. So here what I have done is I have declared name and age as a global variable. Okay, and I have created a non-parameterized, non-returnable method. Okay, this is a normal method. Okay, inside that I'm printing the details like name and age. Okay, while declaring it, what I'm doing is if there is a difference in the common, if it is common, then fine. Okay, for example, if you are going to print employee details of some particular company, okay, if take an example as Tata Consultancy or something, okay, if it is common, it is not going to change, then you can declare in the global variable like this. Okay, I'll show you one employee details method so you will be able to understand employee details. So camel case should be followed. Okay, main method can be called from here. So here, what I'll do. No, no, you no need to confuse. Why you didn't? Okay, okay, fine. No worries, Samuel. I'll tell you. Okay, what it is we are using two variables. Okay, so how we can store some value. Okay, so far whatever we are declaring here, right? So in our previous program, if you want to store, for example, you have 10 student details, and if you want to store 10 details of the students, initially, what we will do, we'll be declaring like this employee's age, employee salary, grade, all these things. If you have 10 employee details, then you will be creating 10 records like this and you will be storing it. Okay. Instead of 10 times you are creating and it will be increasing the line of number of codes, right? So, right. So if you want to print that many times, instead of doing that like in this way, we will be creating a method. Okay. So for getting the student details, we are creating a method like this. Okay, passing the parameters inside like this. Okay, so whenever you want to print something, if you are aware of this details, you can pass it. Okay, if you're not aware of this detail, then this one will be a problem for printing, right? So in that case, what we can do is we can have this method. Okay, you can globally declare the variables instead of passing it as a parameter. We can globally declare it. Okay, and then this method is declared. Okay, and you can create an employee object. Okay, this one for the employee class, and you can declare each and every element separately instead of passing it in one single line. Okay, so I'm just showing you how many ways are available in creation of methods. Okay, so instead of passing it directly in one line, you can pass it like this also. Okay, separately, you can call that object and call the variable that is present, you can print it. Okay, so like this you can do it for n number of employees. You can create so many objects like employee 1, employee 2, employee 3. So that is also a hectic one actually. Okay, by just creating one object you can create so many numbers like this. Okay, instead of doing this you can do this way also, I'm saying. Okay, is it clear guys, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. So in Java, okay, local variables that is declared inside method must be initialized. As I told you, when we are trying to store this value in a global variable, right? Instead of storing it as global variable, when we try to store it inside this one, if I don't declare, what happened? It was throwing a runtime error, right? Can you see? It is saying us to initialize the variable. So that is what I have declared here also. Okay, so even if you just go through this document, you should understand, remember whatever I have taught you today. Okay, so that is why I have pasted that also here. So if you are trying to declare some global variable inside a main method, and if you are not initializing it, it will throw an compilation error. Okay, it will not allow you to save the program. Okay, it will throw you an error and ask you to fix it. So that is the main difference between the global variable and local variable. So the main difference you have to understand is local variable could be initialized by default. If you don't initialize, it will be throwing an error. Okay. So if I put this outside, okay, in the class, inside the class, outside the method, I'm declaring this value. Okay. Now it is not throwing any error. Can you see, guys? So this method, this object is this variable is passed here. Okay, now I haven't declared the value. Okay, I've just stored the value saying that this is the reference variable for the string value. Okay, I'm just passing it here. Now it is not throwing error, whereas if I do it inside the method, it will ask you to initialize. Okay, that is the major difference in creation of local variable and instance variable. So I mean the global variable. So it should be definitely initialized when you are using it as a local variable. When you are using it as a global variable, you no need to declare. So why we don't need to declare is because by default Java will assign the default values for that particular data type. Okay. So if it is a number, it will be 0. If it is string value, it will print null. Okay. Just I'll show you an example. Okay. So this method, I've created it. Okay. So when I put it inside the method, it is throwing error and it is asking me to initialize the variable. Okay. So this is a string value. As I told you, the default value for the string is null. Okay. If it is an integer, okay, then it will assign the default value as 0. Okay. Is it clear, guys? Similarly, for Boolean, it will be false by default. If you don't assign some value, system will automatically take the default value here. Okay. Whereas if you declare this value outside the method and inside the class, okay, you no need to declare the value. It will by default take it as what?
It's type of
Yes, it
data
will
type
automatically,
default value.
it will identify the default value and it will print. Okay, for example, if I'm calling this method now here inside, okay.
So for global variable, the scope is available for each and every method within a class. But
Yeah,
in the local, it is specific to that particular class.
exactly. So if you globally declare something, okay, and if you're trying to call it, it will automatically assign a default value to this particular object, okay, a variable. Even if you don't initialize it, okay. Can you see?
A question,
It
please.
it is an integer,
Can it be
so it is printing the default value as 0. Samuel, did you say anything?
Yes, I said a question, please. Can it be changed when it's default, when it changes defaultly? Like,
Yeah.
when you try, when it's automatically brought out, if it's string, it bring out none. If it's an integer, it bring out 0. And can it be changed? Like, okay, you want it to be instead of 0, maybe 3, higher
You
denomination
you
5.
can you can you can declare it, okay. You have to declare it like this. If you declare the
Oh,
value
okay.
as 3, whatever you run, right, it will be printing it as 3. So by default, in Java, it is 0. Okay, if you don't declare anything like this, okay, if you're not declaring any value for an integer, okay, by default, it will have a memory. Okay, in that memory, it will have the 0 as the stored value for integer. So if I change this as string, okay, it will print here as a null value. Okay.
Okay, okay.
If you want to change and something you want to print, okay, for example, I want to print Samuel. If it is a string, it will print null. If it is by default, if you haven't declared anything, okay. But if you have
Oh,
declared something, that value will be printed. Similar for Boolean also. So for Boolean, I have not declared any value. I've just stored the name as Boolean, and if I'm trying to run it, it will print false.
false.
Oh, sorry, null,
False.
null. Okay, if you
None.
want to print
Okay.
false, you have to print it like this. You should not put it into double quotes. Okay, if you are using Boolean, true or false, okay, you should not put it into double quotes. You have to directly declare like this. You should see the purple color keyword printed here. Okay, then only it will work. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I
it is
can understand.
false. Okay, so there are default values for some default value stored by default in Java. Okay, so that value will be printed. Okay, so far clear, everyone? So how to declare a variable, okay, how to create a method and how to call it inside the method, main method, okay, all these things you learned today, okay?
So that's why in Selenium, Java, basically people will initialize the driver as driver, right?
Yes,
In the
yes, yes. So
global
that they
variable.
can reuse in n number of classes. Like
Yes,
if
yes.
you go and see that now, you'll understand why it was declared in top in a global variable, okay? So when you are learning in the beginning stage, right, you'll be printing or opening a browser, all those things you'll do in one single page itself. Okay, so that you'll directly create in the main method itself. Whereas when you go to the framework level, right, this 4 line of code will be cut from here. You'll directly start from filling the data. Like for if you are automating a login page, okay, you want to automate the login page. The main test case will have only from here, all the other things will come from the base page, okay, so that it can be utilized by all the test cases that are going to execute. Okay, all the test case has to be run in the same browser. Okay, so then only there will be a continuity. So that is why we declare all these things as a global variable. Okay, for example, here also I have declared this Playwright inside this main method, right? Instead of declaring it, if I want to declare it as a global variable, I can declare like this and remove this one directly. I can call this Playwright here and then pass this value here. Like this we have to declare static so that it cannot be changed. So whenever you are creating a framework, you will be able to see that this will be created separately inside a browser factory or main base class. Okay, don't get confused about the terms what I'm saying now. We'll learn everything in the upcoming sessions, no need to worry. Okay, so far clear, right? Globally, why we are declaring. Okay, so what is declaration, how we are declaring the variables. Okay, these are all variables, we are just declaring and reusing it. Okay, this page, everything is a variable. Okay, so how to store value. Okay, how to call a method. So if you don't declare anything when you are declaring a local variable, and if you are not initializing it, it will throw an error. So all these things you should understand. Okay, these are very basics. With the help of this only, we'll be able to understand. So far clear, right, everyone?
Yes, yes, clear.
Okay, okay. So instead of, I told you, right, so many objects you're creating and you're printing it in one single line, right? Instead, if, for example, take a car as an example, okay? So you can create one class called car. You can get all the variables from that. Okay. Like how many doors, what is the brand, all those things you can declare like this. Okay. And by just creating an object, you can print different types of classes, cars, details, all those things. Okay. So like this, we can illustrate everything. That is why you can manipulate everything with the help of these variables, global variables. Okay. So if you see here, I haven't declared anything. Okay. So just initialize the variable, instance variables I've created. Okay. String is equal to color and string is equal to model. That's all. So when you are going to print something, you can update it in any way. So if you want to use color one, okay, for red color for one color car, you can just declare it like this. Okay. If it is a model number is Swift, you can use this. If you are going to use another car, you can create one more set of code like this. Okay. Name it as C2. Okay. For example, one you can have Maruti as a brand and create one more as Tata and one more as Mahindra. Like this, you can keep creating objects and reuse this methods again and again. Okay, methods and variables. So this is the main manipulation we learned Java. Okay, so that this is the thing we'll be using in Playwright as well as in Selenium. Okay, so far clear.
Yes, sir. I have one query. I mean, how much collection part of Java needed to learn Playwright with Java? Collections
Okay,
or list?
you didn't see the roadmap, right? Whatever we are going to learn. So I'll just show you the course details. Okay. So basic core Java is enough for Playwright as well as for Selenium. Okay. So whatever core we know, right? Like how to create a class, what is object, okay? Operators, what are the operators that we are going to use, okay? Control flow statements like if statement, if else statement, loops, for loop, okay? Break, continue, return type, array, string handling, okay? Error handling, exception handling, okay? And constructors, okay, method overloading, I mean polymorphism, inheritance, okay, access specifier, what is the uses of access specifier, inheritance, okay. So till this you have to learn. List, set, map. The basic core Java you have to learn. Without knowing this, if you jump into Selenium or Playwright, it would be very difficult. You should know these basics. Very important. All these things are very important. The OOPS concept, okay, mainly OOPS concept is important, and then how to create methods, objects, all these things are important. And these if else statement, for loop, all these things we'll use in our real time. Okay. If you take the framework, you will definitely see a for loop for sure. Okay. There will be if statement, if else statement. Okay. For sure it will be there, this break statement. So whatever is very important for Playwright or Selenium, I have included that in this within 10 days. Okay. For example, 10 hours I have mentioned. If it is 1 hour per day, within 10 days, you will be a master in core Java. No need to worry. I'll teach you each and everything. I'll compare it along with Playwright and Selenium also. Why we are using. Okay, for example, if you see here, why methods and variables are important in automation? Because we store locators. Okay, locators we'll be storing. Locator is nothing but if you want to click on any element or if you want to perform some action, okay, login or something you're doing, right? Whatever you perform, you have to give one address to the system, right? So go and click this point or something. So that are called as locators. Whoever is new to automation, I'm just giving a high level example for you. Okay. So you want to
So,
store the URL. Yeah.
since here we come to the point saying the locators, in
Hmm.
Playwright also we will use the exports only like in
No,
Selenium.
no, no. In Playwright, we have so many new options. Okay. So in demo session, I showed all those things. So you can see the first day recording and second day recording. Okay. In that, I have showed you. There are so many options in Playwright. Okay. That is the major reason most of the companies are switching to Playwright. Okay. So it is not like you should use only XPath. Okay. There are so many different types of locators. Okay. Text-based locator, XPath-based locator, okay, role-based locator. So this is very new to everyone. Okay. So very useful also. It will not fail at all. Mostly 90% it will not fail. So all the automation, to be honest, whenever there is some automation work happening, okay. So if you are using XPath, definitely it will break someday because of XPath issue. Okay, someone will change the name or someone will change the attribute value. Something will happen. Okay, when you go with this role-based locators, okay, it will eradicate the failure. Okay, so we have different options here. No need to worry. It is actually useful also. And one more thing is in Playwright, you have record and playback option also. Okay, so when you use this line of code, right, page.pass, okay, when I execute this program, you'll be able to see a pop-up opening. Okay, you can just record whatever actions that you perform, right? For example, this is the login page that I have logged in. Okay, so this code, if I want to uh, I want to capture it from recording the option means I'll show you how I will be doing it now. Okay, so this is the Playwright inspector. Okay, this is the recorder. So if you want it to be in any language, you can select. If you want Node language, Node.js, JavaScript, you can select here. So the code will change to. So I want it in Java language. So I'm selecting JUnit. Okay. So once I use JUnit, it will give you in testng kind of format, a test format. Okay. I don't want that. I want a normal library format Java. So this is what is going to happen. Okay. Once you see here, there is an option to record. So once I click on this record and I go to this browser, okay, whatever action I perform here, right, it will be captured. Okay. So for example, I'm going to add this light to the cart. Okay. Is added and I'm going to the cart. Okay. And I'm increasing the count as 10. Okay. So two counts have increased. So now I'll click on the continue shopping, or if I want to proceed to checkout, I'll click on this and I'll click on this full name and type something. Okay. So whatever actions that I have performed so far here, right, that will be captured here as the code. Can you see get by role? Okay. So get by role is the new locator that is specifically created by Playwright. Okay. Playwright. Okay. Using this button and area roles, okay, you can able to identify that particular element so that it will not fail at all. Okay. Even if they say change something by based on this role button, I mean this XPath or some this locator, okay, it will easily identify that. Okay. Are you guys getting it? So visibility also we can be used by asserting it. We can check it. Okay. So by dot role. So whatever I performed here, right, got captured here. So there are various options also, like pick the locator. So which locator you want to pick, you can just select this element. Okay. If I want to get the locator of this pay now button, I can just select here. You'll be able to see it at the bottom. Can you see by set by name? Okay, it will show you pay now. Okay, using that you can see that. And if you want to verify the visibility of the particular element, you click on this eye icon. Okay, once you click on this, that will be asserted. Okay, it will be validated whether it is visible or not. Is it clear, guys? If you want to validate the text, you can just click on this assert text and just mouse over and click on that. So if you want to input anything, you can make changes here itself and update it. Okay, once you click on the stick, that will also be added into the code. Can you see contains this text or not? It will validate. And this one is for asserting some value. Okay, if you want to validate something, you can click on that particular element and validate. Okay, if you see here, it will show you the value like this. And this one is for snapshot. If you want to take any snapshot, you have to click on this. And if you want to particularly take the snapshot of this element alone, then click on that element, or else you can click on the whole page that will be captured. Okay. So there are a lot of options available here. So no need to worry about anything. Day by day, within 40 days, you will learn everything, to be frank. Is it clear, guys?
Yes.
So
Yeah,
if you haven't gone through my demo videos, last 2 days video has been posted in the WhatsApp group. Okay, you can just go through it and you'll be getting a clear understanding of it.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you want to ask me? You can ask.
I have one general doubt, okay? So
Yeah.
there is one programming language, Groovy, okay?
Hmm.
So is it similar like Java, or is it I can means
I,
I
I,
need to
I, I
learn?
I told you, right? Everything is similar only. So only the
Oh,
naming convention will be changing. So if you, for example, you can just Google and see itself that. Uh,
oh,
difference between Groovy and Java. So, if you see, for printing, we are using system.out.println here, correct? For printing something, we are using this statement, right? Similarly, for printing, the statement will be different in Groovy. That's all. It will be like console dot something, I guess. Console dot print something will be there.
Okay.
It is similar to Java. Every language will be similar to Java only. Okay, because Java was initially found 20-25 years back. Okay, from that only it got upgraded. Other languages started using it and they reduced the line of code. That's all. Okay. So can you see here, if you want to print something, you can directly use this statement, print in Groovy. Whereas in Java, it is println. That is the main difference. Only the letters will be changing, whereas the concept will be same in all the language. If you know Java, you can understand any language. No issue.
Okay, got it.
Hari, the black screen, whichever you last shown us, like, in Selenium, people will use the Eclipse editor. So for this thing,
this is
Eclipse
also
only.
Eclipse ID only. I didn't use that appearance. I didn't use the theme. I mean, generally they use black color theme, right, for developing thing. I didn't use that because I want to present here, right? I don't want to do present in a black screen. So if you want to change the editor, this thing, you can just go here somewhere. They'll change the color.
Okay.
I think strict no preferences. Here the theme will be there. You can search theme. So this one you are saying, right? Black color screen.
Yeah, the last things whichever you shown us, by recording something, I didn't get actually. Going forward, I may be familiar with those things, it seems.
Yeah. You just go through the recording, the WhatsApp in the you are you available in that group? If you are available in
Yes.
this group, you can just open this playlist. Okay, this is the playlist of all the recordings. The 2 days recording yesterday, and this is day before yesterday. So this is just a template. This is not a black background actually. Before presenting, it will be in that color. So I've been using the white color one only. So if you want to change the color, you can change it. That is not a big deal. The marketplace, it will have dark edition, I
No
guess.
issue, no issue, no issue.
It's just for satisfaction. That's all.
No. The thing is that I thought some other editor people
No.
might use
I'm
in the
using VS Code and all
Playwright.
will be
I thought.
in black color. Yeah. No. I'm using the same because most of the people would have learned Selenium for switching companies and all previously, right? So that time they would have used this Eclipse only. So now when you get into some other editor, right, it will be difficult for you to understand. So that only I have used the same.
Yeah, that is what my preference is also for Eclipse only.
Yeah, it has a lot of options with us. So you have so many color themes here. You can install this darkest theme. This is the one, dev style darkest theme. So once you finish it, it will change the color to that color, black. Any other doubts, guys?
No hurry. Good.
Okay. So what you guys do, I'll give you we have 2 days holiday, right? Saturday and Sunday. So I want you guys to try this program. So I'll share this in your as an email today. Okay. Generally, if you're not aware, what I'll do is after completing the sessions, what I'll do is I'll be providing the documents, whatever I presented today, right? I'll be sending an email like this. Okay. So kindly post your email ID in the WhatsApp group. Okay. If you haven't posted, post it again. Okay. I'll be sending an email like this. I'll attach the document, whatever I presented this today, right? So I'll be passing it to you guys. So here I'll pass this methods and variables document today. So I want you guys to try this methods. Okay. Only when you type it on your hand, don't copy paste. You try it typing it, then only you'll be able to uh, remember everything. Okay, I want you to create one practical exercise for dog maintenance system. Okay, what you have to do is you have to create a two different classes. One class should be, you have to store all the variables, okay, and method. Okay, and one class you have to print everything. Okay, so try it on your own. Okay, so for example, you have to create a dog class. Okay, in that dog class, you have to have variables like breed, okay, size, age, and color. Okay, and create these four methods. Okay, so create one dog class. Inside that, create four variables. Okay, store some value. Don't store any value. Okay, just create variable alone, and then create methods alone. Okay, and then create one more test class. In that, I want you guys to pass these values. Okay, whatever I've done it in this, you saw, right? So I've created a method inside one single class. Okay, I've passed everything here, but I want you guys to try with two different classes. Okay, to create one dog class. Okay, only have the method and variables, and this main method should be created in dog test class. Okay, instead of creating variable for this class. Okay, instead of creating an object for this class, create dog class. Okay, so once you do that, you will understand how the mechanism is working. Okay, so for clear, any doubt? I want to see all these three type of dog details. Okay, size, color, different values I want you to pass and print it in the console. Is it clear?
It's clear.
Yeah. So I'll share you this document in the chat, WhatsApp chat also. You can refer to it. Okay. So I want you guys to create two different classes and print these details. I want you guys to post it. If you are completing it by tomorrow or day after tomorrow, just take a screenshot and post it here. Okay. I hope you guys are clear with method, variable, class, objects. Okay. Then
Yes.
happy weekend, happy learning. Yeah, sorry.
I have one query. Like, I mean, you will continue the Playwright with Java only till the end?
Yes,
Not. So I thought like
it is TypeScript.
TypeScript or something else.
No. We'll go with Java only. Because in most of the company, they are already having frameworks which are running for past 5, 6 years in Selenium Java only. Okay. So they are directly converting it to Playwright with Java. So most of the vacancy is available in this Java only. That's why we have choose this. If you want to learn with TypeScript, you can join another session which is going on, I guess, with Playwright and TypeScript.
No. I just wanted to know, like, I mean, the demand is for Playwright with Java or something else.
No, it is demand. The demand is with Java only.
Okay.
Yeah. Even if the demand is less, okay, what they do is if you are aware of Playwright, they are picking you. Last month also I went for an interview, okay. I went with Java and some other person came with JavaScript and they were ready to pick both of us. They want people who are aware of Java, I mean Playwright methods. Method is same, okay. Only the language, that code that you're going to do is different. If you're aware of Java, you can learn JavaScript in 2 days. I told you, right? Just simple difference will be there. It will be print state system.out.println in Java, and in JavaScript it will be console.log. That's all. That will be the difference. There will not be a
Okay.
major difference. The concept will be same. So no need to worry. You are aware of Playwright methods, then it is good enough.
Okay.
Okay. So kindly post your email ID in this chat itself. Okay. So I have already 5 people email ID. So if you add it, I'll post.
I just
Oh,
pinged you.
you pinged it in the
Sure.
Teams. Okay. Yeah, I'll get it from there. Okay, I'll send you the email, document. Okay, please go through everyone. Let's
Sure.
meet on Monday. Okay. Thanks, guys. Happy
Thank
weekend.
you. Bye.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Thank you, Hari. Thank you all.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.